Hello, 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 everybody. How are we all tonight? I hope we are doing good. Remember to like, share. Please watch to the end if you're watching this on the replay. Watch all the way through. Um, um, who knows what you'll miss if you don't? I don't for sure. Um, I don't know what we should do with the drunken sailor, but we'll do whatever we do with him. Okay, so what am I doing here? Guess we're gonna share this out, which would be a good idea on the Twitters. And I guess we'll grab the link and we'll share it in the Discord as well. There we go. We've shared it out. Okay, so let's see. Put this down. Bring up thing. So we're gonna have a few things happening tonight. We're gonna shut down the in demand, although I think it takes a few hours. So um, from when we do it, we'll do that maybe at about 11 o'clock. Hopefully, we'll have a bunch of people in here by then. Um, Here, let me bring up the Indiegogo. Let's see. That would be under campaign. There's settings. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep that for later. Doesn't show anything, we can always unshow it if it does. So I guess for now we'll start some drawing. Think I'm going to do my character Darkness here. Was going to bring over more than one reference, but I don't think I'll need it. If I do, we'll get it. So all except for two people, their orders have been sent out. One I deliver on Sunday at church, and the other will be out in the next couple days. It's the biggest package, which is Elric's, and unfortunately, I don't think we'll see Elric tonight. And of course, we're already fluctuating with stuff. Let's see.
Ver.
Okay, so I closed down. I'm closing down a bunch of things. Don't save. Okay, so there we go. Got a bunch of things closed down. Hopefully that will stabilize our bits per second. Okay, so well, helps when we have. Okay, so here we go. You know what? I don't like that at all. Not what I was really going for, but uh, trying to have this guy run. Let's see what I can do here. Trying to think what sort of pose I want this guy in. There we go. There we go. There we go. Arm. Okay, so there is the first little thing. Okay, now we gotta form them out here a little bit. There we go. A little bit more. Jeez, average view 11. Must be my view. Chill stream across comics. Yeah, people can see it. There we go. Hey, Ninja, how are you? Is anyone awake? Yes, I am awake. If you hear wind in the background, or what might seem like wind or breathing, I don't know. That might be from my fan. I have it on just to keep it a bit cool in here. How are you, Ninja or Shinobi? Because I believe you are Shinobi, if I am correct, Ninja. Understood. Uh, but do you hear? Yes, I am Shinobi. But do you hear any wind or whatever? I. It's not making enough for me to hear it, so I could shut it off if need be. But if it's making too much of a racket, I did. You did what? Oh, okay. Maybe that means I did hear it. And if you ever want to come on, Shinobi, I think you're in my Discord. You just can come in through the on-air chat if you want. Uh, There we go. Hello.
1 second.
Uh,
There we are.
how are you, Shinobi?
All right. I think it's been a while since I've been on one of the streams.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think you're welcome anytime, especially when I'm on. Not that you can be here on when I'm not on. That'd be a bit hard.
Yeah, that would be.
So what have you been up to?
Not a whole lot.
I've just basically finished fulfilling my book. I got two more people to get their stuff to. One I'll see at church on Sunday, or hopefully.
Oh,
So, and then the other person is Elric, and his is the biggest parcel, so I saved it to last. He did the fan art cover, as you may or may not know, so I gave him a bunch of those to sell or give away or whatever. Sign them all. He can sign them as well.
that's
Pardon?
yeah, that's good. I was saying that's good.
Yeah. So, he did the fan art cover for free. Well, he wanted to, do the cover, so I let him. It sold, I think, three, but I printed up 50 of them. He paid for one for himself, so he's got 21 copies of it now, all signed.
Mm, good for him.
So, well, he will have once I send it off. I haven't sent it off. I'll be sending that off tomorrow or Thursday. So that's good, as you said, and then my campaign will be fulfilled. for the Canadian Shield 2.
So, any plans for a Canadian Shield 3?
Oh yeah, I've already got it. Basically, I've got the script is written. It's basically paneled out, and there's rough sketches on I think at least 20 of the pages, and it's 22 pages.
Mm.
19 or 20. It's got 19 or 20 pages. I've got rough sketches on at least. Some have a little bit better than rough sketches. So,
So, there's rough sketch and not so rough sketch.
yeah, like, I hate this. I went and upgraded to 2.0, but I didn't do the right um, upgrade, and I lost my EX.
Oof.
So now I'm seeing whether I can pay the difference and get upgraded to it. Like I had version 1 EX, and I just went and got the pro for version 2, not realizing I could have got, and I didn't get it even at the discounted version for pro from going 1 to 2.
Oopsie.
So it's like,
Oh. Yeah.
so, and I didn't realize what I was doing. And it's like, I, to me, I feel like I've downgraded myself.
You
uh,
kind of did under those circumstances.
so
I'm glad they were
uh,
actually able to.
Go ahead.
I'm glad they were actually able to get their act together in regards to that. To at the very least, 2.2.0 because because they were. It's bad enough they're doing the taking the Adobe approach on version 3.
Oh, they're gonna completely do it that way on version 3 subscription
Or
model.
at least that's what they were. At least that's what they were trying to go with. People got pissed,
Yeah,
rightfully so.
yeah. Like, hey Timothy, what's up? Who's this? This is the head ninja, aka Shinobi. Um, as you see him in the chat, he decided to come on. And this, if you see, you should be able to see in Discord. I think I'm sharing. It may be squished a little because I've got it shortened so I can see the chat. My what you call it? Um, my my Clip Studio. But this is page 1. What I've got.
Okay, that's a nice composition so far.
Now here is like,
Yeah. Okay, he's sitting.
yeah, he's sitting. There's gonna be somebody else in this chair too. Like I do
Right.
have, like, if I go like that, you can see a rough sketch of somebody in that chair. But I've
Yeah.
redid the
Yeah.
chair a couple times since that. I'm just building up layer by layer stuff. You know, getting stuff to where I want it. I got the furniture, like I did the whole furniture in the room for that. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
Timothy says, I think I read that. What's up, head ninja?
What's happening, Timothy?
And here is a little, a little less. Hey, Metal Shinobi is joining us from inside a submarine. Either that or that's me, Metal, with my fan on behind me. But as you can see with
Yes.
this page, it's not quite as detailed out yet. So rough sketch.
Though to be fair, I did get a new microphone recently because the last time I was on a stream, I ended up roboting and I wanted to test it.
Ah, okay. And see, nothing. It looks like this one's going to be 24 pages.
How many pages was the last one?
22.
Okay,
And then the first
two
one
extra
was
pages.
and the first one was 23.
Okay,
Unless
yeah, I think that's
let's yeah. To what's his page 24 here? Oh, 20. Oh, must be just 23 pages because the 24 one is showing as the cover when I bring it up for Canadian Shield 3.
okay. So I'm guessing 24 is the back page, the back cover, and the front cover.
Well, this is just it's coming up as 24 because I probably added it after I put all the pages in.
Right,
When I go to print it up and all that, it'll be in the right. It's in the right place in the big file that I can't bring up right now
right.
because of my stupidity that I mentioned a few minutes ago of upgrading, downgrading myself. Upgrading myself to version 2, but downgrading to Pro. So I'm hoping, like I had to pay $64 Canadian, and the discounted version from going to version 1 to version 2 was like 71 or $72.50. I'm hoping I can pay that difference of like $8 or $9 to get up to EX version of 2.
Yeah, because that
I,
would suck having a
go ahead.
that would suck having to pay the full price because you messed up the first time.
Yeah. I wrote them a letter right away. Well, right away, the letter was more saying, because I had written them at first, finding out, like I wasn't sure about the whole upgrading, whether, with the subscription stuff and all that. And I found out, okay, you can buy it without doing the subscription stuff. So I just
Right,
went and, hit the link that they had given me before and, thought I hit the right stuff right at the top, found, then had it installed. And it's like, ah, crap.
right.
This is not EX. This is
Yeah,
Pro. I can't bring up my. I went to bring up my like full comic, and it's like we can't load this page. You don't have EX. I'm like, what the freak do you mean I don't have EX? So then I wrote them back and said like, I just upgraded and I don't have my EX. I feel like I've downgraded. You
right.
know, And then I went on the site again and found out the discounted price stuff, and I'm like, oh crap. So it's like, then let's write another letter. I haven't heard back on either one yet.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're still consulting the manager.
Well, that was earlier today. Usually it takes them a day or two to get back to you.
Yeah. Because they have to consult the manager.
Yeah. Well, normally their stuff is just standard stuff,
Right.
but I guess this wouldn't be quite so standard of a question.
It probably isn't. It's like, can we fix this kind of blunder?
Yeah, I do really hope that they don't make me get stuck with,
Yeah,
the
because that would suck.
Yeah, because I'll wait till it's half off, like in 6 months or
Yeah.
something like that, and then upgrade. But
Yeah. The best thing about Clip Studio is they have good deals like all the time. So if you miss out on one, there's always that chance that you can get in on the next one.
yeah, hey, Mighty Geek, this is why I use Metabang Paint Pro when I do digital. Says Mighty Geek. Yeah.
Oh, there's someone I haven't heard from in a while. How's it going, Mighty Geek? I think that uh uh I think that was a program I heard of. I someone people were bringing up when this first when they were first planning on doing the subscription plan.
Yeah, because it is basically a completely free version of Clip Studio, and you know
Okay, that's what I thought.
I've looked over it before. I've tried it once a couple years ago, I think. I seem to like it, but it was like I said, just a free version of, or seemed like a free version of Clip Studio.
Right.
I don't know how much of the multi-page. I'm not sure whether you could do the multi-pages with it or not. The free with it as the free thing.
Who
Uh,
knows?
Mighty Geek says so far so good. Metal saying Metabang Pank is a superb program. So
Well, I'm glad to hear good things about it. And that's kind of thing I try to explain to people whenever the
yeah,
issue of pirating comes up. It's like if there's a program out there that's just as good and you may have to pay little to nothing for it, go with that rather than pirate the thing you're pissed at.
yeah. Let's see. Metal says their site Art Street is also pretty good. Lots of contests to participate in.
Hmm.
Uh, Mighty Geek says Metabang and Jump Paint is recommended by Shogun Jump for those starting out. Yeah, I can see that because if you don't have the money to buy these types of programs, it's a good alternative.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can save your shekels for the real thing.
Yeah. Hopefully make some art with them and do it. Probably Clip Studio slightly better. It probably has a few more features or whatever. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I didn't extensively use it, but I tried it out once or twice.
The closest thing to an alternative program I've used was GIMP.
Uh, I've heard of that, but I don't think I've ever used it.
It's in a lot of ways it's kind of like Photoshop, but less stuff.
Let's see, Meadow says, yeah, Jump Paint is specifically made for Shogun Jump in partnership with Metabang. It's basically just a clone with manga tutorials from pros. Jeff Bond
Cool.
says, yo, Rick, I saw your DM. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that Jeff says he's using GIMP. Metal says it's been years and I still get PST from PS PTSD from GIMP.
Jeez. Yeah, it can be a pain to manage sometimes.
So as I was telling the Shinobi here a couple minutes ago, we're down to 2 people to fulfill, and
That's good.
and then one which is Elric. Yeah, I'm just telling the people that just came in. And in about 25 minutes, I'm gonna change from showing me drawing to showing me shut down the Indiegogo in demand of Canadian Shield 2.
Also, this is almost done.
No, Canadian Shield 2 is done. Or are you thinking about 3?
I'm probably thinking about 3.
Yeah, yeah, well, Canadian Shield 2 and Snowdrift 1, I had a campaign that I started back in June. And I was supposed to fulfill in January. The guy that I was going to get to print wasn't able to, so that caused some delays. I was trying to wait it out, being able to get to use him, but it didn't happen.
Right.
So I had to switch, and I found one a little bit closer to home. The funny thing is, in Canadian Shield issue 1, it says printed in Canada, and it ended up getting printed in the States. So and with Canadian Shield 2 and Snowdrift 1, they say printed in the US, and they ended up getting printed in Canada.
Uh-oh.
Next time, I think I'll finally get it straight on the 3rd campaign. Because I'm pretty sure I have my printer that I'm going to use from now on here in my own city. It was just as good as using Mixum. Well, sort of. There was a couple different things that would have been better with using Mixum. I could have got a gloss on the cover and all that for about the same price. Hey, Grant. Uh, hey, folks. Mr. Rick is kind of quiet, isn't he? Oh, can everybody hear you? Oh, Grant, your package parcel went out today. Fly Flocks, if you didn't get I think you did. Your parcel is out today as well. And then I'm going to be sending after I get everybody fulfilled from the campaign, I'm going to send out 4 complimentary copies of some books to some people. Um, Metal's getting complimentary because of helping with whatchamacallit, the editing. Dillard, although he bought digital, he's getting complimentary copies because him drawing Snowdrift 1. Quit.
Digital copies, every grifter's nightmare.
I don't mind. I get. Nice. Thanks for being so quick. Being so quick. Well, you got it a bit later than bought in a little bit later than everybody else, but everybody else I was supposed to be fulfilled in January.
Yeah. I don't buy digital copies either, especially when I don't have the room space.
Let's see. Metal says I used it back like 2006 or 07. Been using Photoshop since. Okay, can you talk again? Shinobi, I want to make sure they're hearing you.
All right, okay. If you're hearing me, put a 1 in the chat.
Oh, okay. They are. I should have been able to see, but right in front of me. I was just making sure the desktop audio was picking you up when you talked.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Flyfox says, I use my Photoshop during my day job. I quit that job and then I didn't want to pay for Photoshop, so I downloaded GIMP. I still have nightmares, says Flyfox. Metal says, I love digital copies, saves on shipping, and I can keep on my phone. That's good. GIMP isn't exactly the easiest program to use, says Jeff. Flyfox says, 2 months late, Rick. I'm going to stop associating with you. That's ridiculous. And
As long
Grant,
as this topic doesn't end up in a Walmart somewhere. Looking at you, Brightweiser.
hey, I have no qualms against him putting it in Walmart. I just have the qualms on the timing of him putting it in Walmart.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of been my grudge with him because I was actually one of those backers. It's like why is Walmart getting copies of Red Rooster before the people who backed you?
Yeah, well, same here. I was one. I've got my copy of Red Rooster. I've only read about the first 10 pages of it.
You're not missing a whole. You're not really missing much.
Coming in loud and coming in louder than Rickness to me. Grant says hello to Jeff. Mighty Gimp says avoid GIMP at all costs. Metal says we all know that crowdfunder book is still on time until 6 months after the day they promised. Yeah. Same.
Did somebody just come in?
Maybe Metal. I don't. Oh, Mighty Geek. Hey, Mighty.
Hey. So how's it going?
Good, good, good. Yourself?
I'm doing good.
Flyfox says, whatever happened to Comic Book Hut? Haven't seen him, any mentions of him in a while. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I haven't heard it. I heard hide no hair of him.
Metal says, here, for those still suffering through GIMP, he gives a thing to Metabang, a link to Metabang. I was, I guess, lucky never to suffer through
I
GIMP.
say avoid GIMP at all costs.
Yeah. It'll give you. Will it give you a limp?
If you're not careful, it might.
Yep.
I've seen guys go schizo after using it. And that ain't fun.
Oh, I can believe it. Well, somebody going schizo. I don't. Never used GIMP, so I can't say about using it. I'll take you guys at your word.
Consider yourself lucky.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seeing as how I'm.
If you use it long enough, it will make you go traditional.
Metal
Just
says,
to avoid the headache.
Metal says the only thing,
Yeah.
the only good thing about GIMP is that it is open source and has a huge support community. And then Jeff says,
That's about it.
hey to Grant.
That's about all. That's about the only thing good about it.
Well, definitely makes me.
I know it's bad to speak. I know it's bad to speak ill of others, but yeah.
You're not speaking bad of others. You're just speaking bad of a program. I don't
Yeah,
think.
Well, when it deserves it.
it does. Mm. So Shinobi, have you finished?
Just about.
Okay. No, Shinobi went through therapy after deleting GIMP from his computer.
Grant Grantish Cosby asks, "Is that a Louisiana accent?"
Who?
I guess he's talking to you, Mighty.
No. I've been through Louisiana, but I've never lived there. And again, Chicagoans don't have an accent.
They don't?
At
Not to
least
them.
not that we're aware of.
Chicagoans don't have an accent to them.
Like
To me, I
I said,
don't.
at least not that we're aware of.
Everybody
But
does
then
it.
again, but then
Everybody.
again,
Go ahead.
well, like I said, but then again, I don't know.
I was gonna say everybody to themselves doesn't have an accent but to others they might.
Yeah, other people we may have one, but nah, you just we just don't hear it. That's the problem.
Well, to
Everybody else, we could
everybody,
all say Rick has an accent.
yeah, to everybody, their accent is normal to them. So
Yeah, that's what I say. We can say Rick has an accent, but he doesn't hear it.
yeah, I I'd buy that for $1 maybe.
Mm.
No.
Why buy it for $1 when it's on sale for 50 cents?
Yeah. Mendel says there are like 3 or 4 accents in Chicago alone.
Mm.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, me too.
Plus, because I
Actually,
never
the few
been.
hundred short. There are 4 well-known accents in Chicago, but we're not going to count the other 150.
Sounds like
Tend to vary from neighborhood. These accents tend to vary neighborhood by neighborhood.
sounds like Britain, where they can tell where somebody is by their accent.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Uh, I can actually. I know a guy that can actually confirm that.
I know a few guys that can confirm that.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Mike Walters is in the show. I guess he's just ended his show, and
He has.
Lord, Mikey.
he
And what
has
are you doing?
he has the mic stand. He's usually going over various niche news, like articles dealing with comics, video,
Comics, wrestling,
yeah,
comics, wrestling, video games. Yeah.
anime, manga,
Yeah.
maybe sometimes TV, and actually the video games
Okay.
isn't too often. And then Friday nights he usually has um a comic, what he calls a comic retrospect, where we read. He goes month. He's going month by month and reading through old comics. Like right now we're in September of 1939. A few weeks it'll be in October, and he goes through different companies. What they had out back then, and tries to read through them.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show. I don't get there all the time, but it's usually pretty good.
I see. So unlike a lot of the, unlike much of the, well, manga is doing better than Western comics crowd, he could actually recommend a manga for me to pick up. One that isn't
Yeah.
Berserk, that is.
Uh, uh, Mike says he just
Well,
finished talking about animation in the United States in the television era. I guess
mm,
that means the 70s, 80s, 90s,
yeah.
60s. And then, of course, Sunday he has a bunch of people on, panelists, and we talk about, again, similar stuff. So, you know, if Mike puts his link in the channel, it might be a good idea. Like I said, it's a really good place to tune in. Friday nights for sure, Sunday nights. Especially if you don't have anything else planned.
Yeah.
And it's called the Mike Stand because he likes to try and get people to chime in on the articles. You know what he's going over. Just participate in the chat about what's being said in the
Ah.
article. So it's like, come on, step up to the mic stand and have your say.
Hey guys.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, hi.
And
I was
here's Mike Walters.
yeah, I wasn't
Hello,
planning
Mike.
on coming in because as mentioned, I just finished my show. I was a little worn down, but I figured if we're gonna talk a little bit, might as well just hop in for a couple minutes here. Yeah. So, granted, I don't know as much about. I do watch anime. I do watch quite a bit of anime, but I don't read as much manga. I'm looking back more at the older comics, and part of the reason is because and I know what you're talking about. You're talking about guys like Yellow Flash, and they do kind of make a point there where manga are selling better than regular comics because a lot of the
Oh,
manga over in Japan are not trying to cater to a small minority. You know,
no.
so it's
The only issue I have with that argument is that neither one of those mediums are in direct competition with another. It's like saying, well, Sudoku is beating McDonald's because stuff.
what manga and comics are not competing with you. Well, okay, maybe to a certain extent you're right. Maybe in a way, but your example there is a little off because mangas are Japanese comics. Okay, they're just the Japanese version of comic, just like manhwa, manhwa, are Korean comics, and
And
manhua,
Yeah.
HUA, are Chinese comics.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're all comics. They cater to their own country, basically, usually. So it's like, so yeah, you made your point about them maybe not necessarily directly competing with each other. You know, good point, just
Well,
bad example. Because
yeah.
what you have to understand is what a lot of them are saying, what a lot of guys like Yellow Flash are saying, is that those in America who are buying, they're tending to buy manga over buying.
Yeah.
They're tending to buy Japanese
The
manga as opposed to
the
American comics because they don't want to be preached at. They just want a story.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the manga creators are giving them the story without trying to lecture them, and that's just not happening. With the American comics right now, and that's the point they were making on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. As you said, manga just means comic in Japan, and they are coming over here, and people do seem to be buying them more over here than like DC or Marvel type stuff. So I guess that's
Yeah.
sort of more what's meant by being in competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Uh,
um,
well, as
what?
Chuck Dixon put it,
Panel
well, as Chuck Dixon put it, there's something for everyone with manga. If you like fishing, there's a manga for that.
Yeah.
He didn't go off and list any titles, but a lot
Yeah,
of people in his comment section did.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely something for everyone in manga, or
Yeah.
at least the
Well,
theme of whatever's
well,
going on.
Mm.
what as we get into the 40s and 50s, as we continue with the historical comics retrospect, because I know this because from my own personal study with the DC stuff and stuff that was linked to DC, you know. But what I can tell you is that there was a time in the 40s and the 50s when you had kind of that same thing in American comics, because throughout the
Yeah.
40s and 50s you not only, granted, the superhero genre started dying out in the late 40s and then resurfaced in the 60s, but aside from that you had a lot of war comics being published, you had romance comics being published,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
horror comics.
you had westerns, you had sci-fi, you had now granted, maybe not as much horror because of some of the crackdown with the CCA and all that, but you still had a lot of stuff out there, you know. Uh,
yeah. Although with manga, it seems to be. I'm not sure whether you could consider it one genre, for lack of a better way of saying it, or because I'm not sure whether it's all the same basic formula, but they'll do it with people with cooking, they'll do it with people with
yeah.
Uh,
ranches, they'll do it with people playing sports, they'll do it with people playing do
Sports manga real
Well, yeah,
popular.
yeah. Well, what you have the main the main divisions with anime and manga are shonen, which are comics that are directed towards sports, and and in that you have like your more traditional action adventure type stuff. You have your fantasy adventure types, your action adventure stuff like Naruto, like One Piece, you know, um,
Dragon Ball and a
Dragon
few
Ball.
others.
You have your fantasy adventure like Berserk, like Record of Lotus War.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Although Berserk isn't a shonen manga, it's a seinen manga, but same. But your point still stands.
yeah,
yeah. Well, even I am not always completely clear on all the. You have your slice of life stuff, like you have your harem and reverse harem anime. Your harem anime like Lucky. Oh, well, no, not Lucky Star. Please Teacher, Please Twins.
Love Hina.
Huh?
Yeah.
Love Hina.
Love Hina. That was the one I was trying to get out of my head. The reverse harem, like Oron High School Host Club, the Wallflower. You know, you have your mechas
yeah.
Full Metal Panic.
Robotech.
Macross. No,
Robotech. Robotech,
that's
which is based
Macross.
on Macross. Go Lion, and Dairuger 15, which were both based on, which both gave us
It became
Voltron.
Voltron.
Voltron. Mhm.
You know, so
Which is funny because Future Robot Deltadius would have been a part would have been our Voltron had World Events not have communicated the wrong message.
Yeah.
What was that?
An anime called Future Robot Deltadius almost ended up becoming Voltron, but because of a
So
miscommunication.
the communication. Yeah, they sent us Beast King Go Lion instead.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of funny was Voltron. The end product actually ended up being a merging of two properties. You know, you had
Yeah.
Beast Ghost Lion, and they were two unrelated properties. Go
I know.
Lion, Dairugger 15. They were two completely different anime, but they merged them together into one show. You know,
Yeah,
one
they
of-
had to do that. They had to.
yeah. But,
The
It
only
was-
thing that made sense at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you like back then you had to have like I think it was like a little over 60 episodes before a network would even look at your show.
well,
Right.
I'm not sure if there's an actual. I don't know if it's a law or something, but for
I don't know. I'm not sure if that was law, but I know it was an industry standard.
For
It
a
was more of
property
a standard than anything else.
standard, okay, standard for a property to become is syndicated, for it to get be allowed to go into reruns or whatever. You had to produce, I think it was something like 65 episodes.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah. Minimum.
Yeah. In order to get a syndicated run, you needed basically going 5 days a week, 13 weeks, a little over 3 months.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You needed to produce in order to get a syndicated run.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
Yeah.
first
Die
one.
Rugger, yeah, and Die Rugger and Gold and Die Rugger alone came up was well short of that number.
Very short. Because they broke into Beast King Go Lion to introduce Dairugger 15.
Yeah.
And
In fact,
they aired it for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, one of the ways that they actually connected the two shows was by having Pidge from Go Lion. I don't know what his Japanese name was, and Chip from the Dairugger 15. They
Oh, yeah, they
were
both had
made to be
glasses.
cousins or something like that, or brothers or something.
I think they
So
were
they were
brothers.
related.
They both had glasses.
Yeah, they were dubbed as brothers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a number of things that they've done over the years. In now that one maybe just totally mentioned here, but for example with Gatchaman, the Battle of the Planets dub of it,
Yeah.
as well as the deep dub of Sailor Moon, in their attempts to make it more kid friendly, they cut out quite a bit of content. In fact, in particular with the Gatchaman series, the Battle of the Planet, they quite literally cut out a third of the content. So
Because it was regarded as too violent.
Right.
Yeah,
And in order to make up for that, that's how we got set for the Battle of the Planets cartoon. That's how we got Seven Zark 7. He was not a part of the original cartoon. He was added in to fill in that time they cut out.
I'll be right back while you guys talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that Rick does not like Seven Zark 7.
I don't.
A lot of people didn't like it because it took away from the story.
A lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't like the Battle of the Planets dub of Gatchaman. A lot of people did not like the Deke dub of
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, and it was for the same reason. A lot of the original fans, particularly the ones who had watched the English sub versions, did not like the dub versions because they in essence neutered both shows.
They did.
What the companies were trying to do, they were trying to make it more kid friendly. Like in the
Sailor Moon. They did a butcher on Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
They took, like I said, they took an innocent lesbian relationship and changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they had to keep the parents off their. They had to do something to keep the parents off their backs.
Yeah, but did they have to turn it into an incestuous one?
Well,
that's what they did.
Well, I mean, but I think the idea of close cousins like that, but even I don't know as much about the original because even though I did watch the Viz Media dubs later.
Mhm.
I don't know if they actually ever really full on really.
Back cross flashbacks coming back.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if they full on actually like really played up the whole lesbian aspect of those two.
Well, in the original Japanese dub, they hinted at they did a lot of hinting at it because it was
Hinted at,
something
but
that happens.
but I don't think you ever saw anything like concrete that
No,
yes, they were lesbians or they were lovers. Okay,
all right.
that's why they were able to kind of get away with the idea of turning them into cousins because it wasn't like
Mm.
Yeah.
as far as I
Yes.
know, they weren't depicted as like sleeping in the same bed or
No.
being in some passion. Well, you did have some cases where they were in each other's arms, but it wasn't anything
Yes.
over the top.
And in the case of two of the villains, one of the bad guys' genders got changed to hide that.
Oh man, that was horrid.
What are you talking about now?
No, one of the bad guys had it with gender swapped.
Oh, there was a bunch of that going on. I think there were 2 or 3 characters that were gender swapped. In fact, if you're talking about the Carnival one, I think it was in S or whatever.
That
yeah,
was one.
I think 2 of those 3 characters were actually gender swapped. You know, and one of the other characters I do remember was gender swapped earlier in the series was Zoisite. Zoisite was also.
That's the one. Yep, that's the one I was referring to.
Yep,
That's the one you were talking about.
That's the one he was talking to.
Well, yeah, there was a situation a little later too. I think it was S or something like that.
There was a situation in S, yeah.
Where
I didn't
I think
get
a
that
couple
far.
characters there that were actually just one went from being like an effeminate male to being female, and the other was
Right.
female to male. You know, a dark circus one or whatever.
I don't think I got that far.
Trust me, you're not missing much.
I mean, the only Sailor Moon series I haven't seen and I won't see is Stars, because that one, you know, there's no way of getting the only reason that Deke and Cloveway never dubbed that because there was no way they were going to get that past.
Get away with what was in it. I know.
Because that was full on, like you were seeing full on gender swap there. You know.
Yeah.
I mean that wasn't coming from the studio. That was coming from the mangaka themselves. So that's how the characters were originally done there. So there was no way they were going to get. You know that's why it wasn't until Viz got a hold of it that they were able to do that because they were able to dub that because Viz, of course, didn't really care. By that point, of course, they were doing the dubs now more for an older audience, where the Deke and Cloveway dubs were being done more for a younger audience. And as one of you pointed out earlier, they wanted to keep the parents off of their back. That's why they did
as much as possible.
Yeah, well, today they might be able to do it.
Well, Viz already did.
They've already done it, but that's not the issue. It's just that unknown to most of these companies that there were grown-ups actually watching it with them, who had read the mangas also, which made them very upset about it.
Okay, well,
if you guys want to know something real funny,
Rick, how long did Chris and Diana go?
We went to about 10 to 10.
was about 2 hours. I think it was.
Yeah. Well, Mighty, I was in there for a few minutes earlier on, and then I had to go to my show. Yeah, when I couldn't. There was only like one story that was out today that I could have possibly talked about, and that was when Yellow Flash did, and that was Dan Slott apparently having a meltdown because he has to pay to be a now on Twitter. You know.
Oh.
But there wasn't really a whole lot of niche news going on today, so I just figured, okay, so what can I do to fill in the time? So I just, I was thinking, I wanted to really talk about some of these compilation shows that were out over the years, like Hanna-Barbera's World of Adventures, Flintstone Funnies, Bugs Bunny show.
I miss shows like that, especially Flintstone Funnies.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of those now. Cartoon Network, Boomerang will just pop them in for like 4 or 6 hours, a little longer than they should be. But MeTV has been doing stuff like Tune In With Me and Sunday Night Cartoons, where they'll put like together and they'll now granted they have a little bit of everything. They have Warner Brothers, they have MGM, they have Paramount Famous Studios, stuff like that. So I wanted to, and I knew that since I don't get to talk about cartoons as much, I figured might as well just do that because I was initially trying to think about talking maybe about like the Harvey Toon Show, which was a compilation show that brought all the famous Studios shorts from the Harvey Comics line. Casper the Friendly Ghost, his cast of characters, Herman and Catnip, Mohair and Tommy Tortoise, Little Audrey, Baby Huey, so then I found animation in the United States in the television era, which it would have been like from late 40s through the 80s, basically.
Yeah.
That was basically the advent of Saturday morning cartoons and everybody getting up every Saturday morning, and also just a lot of the syndicated stuff that people would watch, when they come home from school or get up in the morning. Like I remember, for me growing up, from like 7 to 9 in the morning and from 3 to 5 in the afternoon were your 2 syndicated blocks of cartoons.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'd be picking up, stuff that had previously been on, from early, on Saturday morning, like the Hanna-Barbera's World of Super Adventures. That was a compilation show that basically brought together a lot of the Hanna-Barbera superhero cartoons that came out in the 60s.
So you had Birdman, Shazam,
Mighty Force, Space Ghost,
exactly.
Tune in with me. I don't have MeTV anymore because we got DirecTV and all that, and had to pay to actually get it. So, but so as Rick had mentioned earlier, I'll be, of course, we'll be finishing up September 1939, the historical comic retrospect, next Friday, April 7th, and then we'll be starting for like the next 10 weeks going through comics that went on sale from October 1939 through all the different companies. Rick will be joining me on the 14th, go over comics that went on sale from DC at the time. And one of the stories we'll be reading, of course, will be Batman Wars Against the Dirigible of Death, which also has a flashback to his origin in that story. And then Terry, Mighty Geek, will be joining me on the 21st when we go back and look through some stuff from Marvel, known back then as Timely. So it's fun. It's fun. It's when you hear about most people in our circle here go about just producing the independent comics to get away from a lot of the garbage that's being produced by the mainstream comic industry right now. But I figured, I took it another way because I'm no artist. I'm no artist. From a fan's perspective, I looked at it more like, well, why not look back to what got you interested in it in the first place, in the field in the first place? Go back to it. Now, for me, I'm somebody who came from a cartoon side of it. I didn't read comics as a kid, but I was a big cartoon watcher. One of my favorites of all time was Super Friends, the Super Friends franchise, and my love and interest in the Super Friends, and later, of course, the DCAU, is what sparked my interest in comics and the history of comics, because I wanted, and I know Rick knows more than anybody, and Terry, you might have heard me say this too before, but I often talk about the idea, wouldn't it be something if we actually were able to meet Access, and he could open the door to any comic universe that we chose, and we could enter into that comic universe through whatever gate Access. Now, you guys know who Access is, right? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
From the DC Marvel crossover in the I think it was the 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now.
Yep. He was a character that was native to both universes and could basically open a doorway in between the universe. Well, I took the idea of him and just added more to it, saying that, well, this is probably the guy who sits at the gateway to all the comic universes, and theoretically, kind of like what Chris was talking about earlier in his stream when he was talking about how I think he's saying Grant Morrison fully believes that the comic universes are real and we could actually enter them. I think there is that possibility, but we just don't have the means to do it, unfortunately. No, I don't think there's nobody. Stephen Hawking maybe, but I think he's dead now. Who might have had enough intellect to be able to figure out the quantum physics of it all to go from one universe to another.
We got a bit of a lull here. I'm going to do the one thing that I wanted to do on this stream tonight, and that is show the closing down, taking their request to opt out of In Demand for Canadian Shield 2 campaign over on Indiegogo.
Actually, I think I'm gonna head out here on you, Rick, because I just was coming in for a few minutes here. As I said, I just got done with my stream, so I wasn't I wasn't initially planning on coming in, but then I decided to come in since we're time.
I need to do that. Yeah, I need to do that too.
Okay, we'll catch us both later. Make sure to share any links that you want to share in the chat, of course.
Well, I would if I had a wrench.
Oh, you don't? Well, I guess we could correct that.
Well, I've already done my show for tonight, so it's not like I could probably
put a link to your channel.
Yeah, I'll do just that.
Let's see.
All right. Well, I'm out. I'll probably will drop in there to drop a link real quick, and then and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully, you guys will drop by tomorrow night before you head over to Chris's channel. I hope you guys will drop by and check out whatever I'm doing. Or heading over to Chris's channel.
All right.
Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.
And I just modded you in the chat.
There it is. Thank you.
Okay, so everybody, here we go.
Well, I'm gonna go grab me something to eat. I'll see you guys later.
See you around.
Okay. When do you want it to end? Oh, wow. Let's see. What is today? The month? Oh, 3/29, 2023. Okay, so we lost everybody at the same time there. Let's see. Moving on, fees are too expensive, launching new campaign. Delays with fulfillment, dissatisfied with service, moving to. You know what? No, I'm just going to go moving to my own website. Your request is being processed. Please allow 3 business days. So you may have up to what? Friday? You may not. Forever's listening. So anybody out there still listening? Uh, okay, let's see. Going to delete that and put it up above. Okay, so we need to fix the leg, one leg, and the hand, of course, and the jacket. Hey, Judge, you're still here. I didn't even know whether you were here to begin with, but glad to have you still here. So we did the whole on air of. I'm here too doing stuff while you stream. Okay, okay. I just wasn't sure who was here because we didn't have much talking in the last little bit. But it's glad to have everybody here. So by Friday, maybe sooner, uh, we will be officially closed down for the Indiegogo for the Canadian Shield 2 on Indiegogo. Usually they do this pretty quick, so it could be by sometime earlier, sometime tomorrow. Oh, you sold another book? Good. Oh, you know what? That's what I should do. Depending on what happens with well, Chris and Diane are launching on thing, and depending on how much that costs, I might end up getting a physical copy of your book next week. New mentions. Prob. So, how are you, Joshua? So, can you guys believe it? Another campaign is done. And then, of course, we are already working on another one. Well, sort of. There we go. Do do do. All right. I'm drawing stuff. Oh, what are you drawing? So the draw alongs have now also been switched to Chris's that we were having on Saturdays. They're going to be on Chris's permanently um, on Monday nights. I need another 6 books to meet 50% of last year's sales, meaning that in 1 month I will sold half of what I sold all last year. Well, that's good. I hope you get beyond that, obviously. drawing some Street Fighter characters. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Street Fighter's good. I used to play it back in the day. Little Ninja Star or something to that effect that he's holding on to. Oh, that arm's a little stiff, but doesn't look too bad. There we go. Gotta trying to figure out how the hand would hold the sword out like that. Okay, let's do this on another layer completely. Okay, that sword's a bit wonky, but and a bit short too, but hey Flint, how are you? Been a while. I just closed down the Canadian Shield campaign. Okay, legs a bit wonky, but overall not too bad, I think. Oh, uh, big win there for a second. I'm just shutting the fan off. Um, so, uh, 2 drawings in tonight. Not too bad. Anything you guys want to talk about for about the last 20 minutes? I might shut down early if not much, since I got 2 drawings in, not much going on. Thoughts on the Chris Chan situation? Uh, did Rick fart into the mic? Didn't realize that. Second. No, we can talk about my dog shoving his paws in my gut. That sounds possibly painful, Jeff. Thoughts on the Chris Chan situation? I don't know what the Chris Chan situation is. What is that situation, Joshua? Chris Chan walks among us once more, says Flit. Well, I think I am going to end a little early. Okay. Well, thanks everybody that came on the panel earlier. If you're listening or later, top 10 hottest Street Fighter. How did the campaign do? Okay. It got just under $2,000 Canadian with 48 backers, and I don't know. Are there just girls? Are there even 10 girls in Street Fighter? I'd put Chun Li at number one. I guess that's to me. 1 through 10, Cammy. Suck it. Chun Li scrubs. Cammy would be number two. There's only like, what, three or four that I can think of? Well, three. Chun Li, Cammy, Schoolgirl. Well, look at this one thing. It looks like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have no idea who they all are. Blocked and reported cross conflicts channel for anti. I'm not anti Cammy. I'm just she's second fiddle. Okay, there's Cammy Chung trending pages. Cammy, Chung-Li, Jurhan, Poison, Sakuka, Seth, Lily, and Rose. Bruh. Hey, at least I didn't put Cammy in, like last place out of all these. Then again, I don't know any of the other ones. Like I said, I saw that picture that had like 11 of them in, and I only knew about three. So, but yeah, I'm gonna end 15 minutes early. So we'll catch you all maybe on other people's streams throughout the week. So we'll see you next Tuesday for sure. Shake my head. Okay, later. Oh, God bless. Have a great week. Whatever.